and we are live. Welcome to the fifth episode of the Degen Report, featuring the baddest babes on Cardano, being the Crypto Fairies. Can you guys tell us what you are all about?
We are about magic, kindness, and smiles, and let's have a little bit of glitter, sparkles, and magic.
So yeah, we're just about positivity and spreading magic on the blockchain. We obviously come along just to like switch the algorithm up and just bring a bit of fun and light-hearted magic along to Cardano. And we've got the Fairy Friends, our NFT collection, that are also spreading magic and positivity.
And changing the way we look at the world. Because nobody wants to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to an office or go to a building site and work all day. We all want to be doing different things and having more fun time. And going on things with Stunner Boy and Big T.
Big T.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you two are known as the Crypto Fairies, but when you guys are a part, what should we call you?
Well, I'm the fairy godmother.
And I'm Tinkerbell.
We're quite gangster as well.
Perfect. So are we. This is the Crypto Gangster Podcast, so it's perfect.
New branding.
What is the Degen Report? We're the Gangster Report. Let's get it. So this week, Big T kind of blew up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm famous. I'm famous now. I'm a famous guy.
So how did that happen, man?
It's weird. Twitter algorithms are so strange. So I've been following Blockchain Boy, the guy from the video that I posted, for like 2 years now almost on TikTok. I randomly watch his TikToks from now and then. He's more of a DeFi guy, so half the stuff he talks about, I don't even understand what he's talking about, but it seems cool, so I watch it from here and there. And I just saw that video pop up on my For You page about Cardano, so I was like, oh, I gotta post this, because it was in the middle of everybody arguing about OR's mint price and like catastrophic bugs on our testnet, and everybody's been all kinds of up in arms on Twitter for like the last couple weeks, so I was like, this will be funny. Let me post this. And then I just like randomly woke up one morning. I think the first day I posted it, it had like 4,000 views or something, which was strange because I have like 800 followers. And then the next morning I woke up and I was sitting on the couch watching TV, eating breakfast, and Charles Hoskinson quote tweeted it, and I was like, there's no shot, this is real. And I looked at it and it was real. So then the whole day, every time I picked up my phone, it was just Twitter noties from top to bottom on my screen every day for the whole weekend. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I rode the wave. But now, back to reality. Not as much engagement on the tweets these days. After that,
That's just the beginning.
That's right. It's just the beginning.
Yep. With that, so I also know it was kind of controversial because that TikTok that you posted was like 30 seconds of him being like, so Cardano is going through all of this shit, like this, that. So in a way, like the way that Block Boy then like talked to Charles, and that he was like, this is like 30 seconds out of a 2-hour podcast, where like immediately after that I'm like, this is the test net, this is that. So
yeah.
So do you think that tweet was kind of like good for crypto? Or was it?
It's kind of like funny though, because I was basically trolling like our own community for being annoying about like just being doomers on Twitter. And I was actually DMing Block Boy because after everything blew up, we were DMing back and forth. And he was also just trolling on the pod. Like, so it was just kind of, we were both trolling, and then it just turned into a big thing. And he doesn't even like Solana. I don't like Solana. We were just joking. And it turned into like a whole big thing. But I mean, he got some good publicity out of it, as did I. So, I mean, it was a win-win. We're all happy. Me and him, no hard feelings, no nothing. We both thought it was pretty funny.
Well, that's why
But-
there's so much FUD, because like it's based on fear. So it's like the algorithm
Right.
bases itself on a fear thing. So as soon as there's like negativity or fear, and that's what people like automatically psychologically put towards, then that
Yeah.
blows up. So that's why FUD is created sometimes, and like sometimes the FUD isn't even real. It's created to get attention to these projects, because any publicity is good publicity.
Right,
Yeah,
right, exactly.
But then the divide just becomes bigger and bigger, and because then a bunch of Solana people come and they're like, oh my god, people on Cardano, they fucking suck. They just like take these 10-second clips and like blow it up when in reality Tia knew what was going on. Block Boy knew what was
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, everybody knew what was going on except for the people coming in and being like, "Oh my god, you're talking shit." Which there was a ton of people, but those people need to do their own research into what's going on. Because by doing that in a way, you do bring the communities together, but it's that type of back and forth conversation.
No matter how much
where is that
research you
good?
do, Stutter Boy, we live in a big wide world of the
Yep.
web. There's so many people. Who knows who's going to get rugged? Sorry, what's happening lately? You don't. No one's got a crystal ball. We don't actually know. There's
Right.
projects out there that are rugging that none of us had any idea whatsoever. So unless you're that person doing that project, you have no clue. As you know, Tinkerbell and Fairy Godmother might walk off now. But we've sold over 600 NFTs. But nobody knows. That's why this game is very highly volatile. We're not going to run off because we're magic.
Right.
But no
And
matter
you
how
guys
good a project
can't.
is, anyone becoming doxxed and coming out and going, "This is me," what does that prove? Unless they live next door to you.
Right.
'Cause I
Yeah,
know-
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the internet's a funny place. Like, you can do a lot. There's like, anyone watches Catfish, MTV Catfish. Like, come on, people have like 27 personalities. Like, and that happens on Twitter Crypto too. They have like aliases upon aliases upon aliases. Like, and that's what we like. I don't know. We like to call ourselves conscious entrepreneurs, because we just like to be like open and honest and like transparent, because it's just like a new age, and like we have got this whole new industry to like fill up with new people and new ideologies and new like different ways of looking at things. So why not do it with something better than before? Or
Let's
just
change
do the same-
it.
let's
Switch
just
the
con
algorithm,
everyone
guys.
again.
Come on.
Like
Yeah.
it's all a content industry at the moment, isn't it? It's like kind of lying to get people's money. And if we can do that in a way where we can sort of like have the ecosystem work together, where we like share, grow, and like invest in each other, I feel like
Yep.
that's just like a lot healthier of a way than like lying to each other, like we hate to see.
That is kind of the goal of our podcast too, because kind of before this, the only thing you ever saw was people post maybe memes on Twitter or say, you guys should go look at this, or do that type of engagement farming that we've all done. But what needs to happen is an actual conversation with real people that are actually alive behind these PFPs, which
Yeah,
you
and,
never
like,
see.
Farming never doesn't show individuality, because it's everyone just copying each other. So you're
Yep.
just getting a post, doing the same hashtags, doing the same post, and then just expecting like likes and results. But in the end of the day, the people who have that authenticity will come out and they will stay there, because that engagement farming doesn't work all the time, because like even Big T said, the engagement, it like lacks in the end. So it like, we had Paris Hilton like quote tweet retweet a lot of ours, like she's a follower of ours, and like it works for a little while, but it's not
Then
like
it goes.
be all and
Yeah.
end all. Like,
Yeah.
do
Then
you
it
know what I mean?
goes. Yeah.
It goes, gone.
Like, it's not. Yeah.
You need to always be doing something bigger and better and bigger and better, and you might not see that blow up immediately, but like the Crypto Fairy said, this community is so small and so young. So those people that are much braver than everybody else, they will reap those rewards. But
For a short time.
Yes.
Because I might get a photo and stand there in my bikini. Woohoo!
Yeah.
I've learned so much, Stunner Boy and Big T, being on this space. I've learned what catfish is. I've read, because I'm the Twitter person, I read comments, and I know, no way, they're from a chick. I know.
Yeah.
'Cause, so...
Mine, when I'm talking about, like penises and being like circumcised, and do people prefer that? So I know most, like 99.9% of the people that say something back, those are all guys.
Yeah, they are.
But it's kind of the community I'm trying to go for, which is more memey than being like, this NFT is gonna take all your money and then you'll never hear of them ever again. Which
and have that like
so
YouTube
much of
thumbnail
this,
where it's like, Cardano's gonna blow up.
5,000%, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's like a good segue into our first topic that we have, which is, what is it like being women in the CNFT space, considering it is pretty male leaning, male dominant? You know, there's a lot of just like high school boys, basically. So what is it like being two women in the space?
Love it.
I mean, we've always worked with like sort of a highly male-based industry. Like we owned a business in construction, so we were like had like an employee base of like 15. So there was like probably 17 women on site, and then like 60, 70 men. Well, 60 to 100 men. So we've always worked in like a really, and I've got two brothers and a dad, so I'm like always, and like I've got a lot of masculine energy. But I don't know, like I really like masculine energy. I'm really like masculine in myself. Like I have a masculine sense of humor.
You're not bitchy.
I don't know. I've always been the one to be like, I have guys as friends, because like I don't really get on with women. They're just like a lot of drama filled, and I hate generalizing. I do, but like I don't know, just myself personally. Like I'm not that kind of one. Like I always said since I was like 15, I don't talk about people. I talk about things, because dumb people talk about people and smart people talk about things.
Yep.
And like a lot of girls just sit there and talk about people, and I feel like there's so much energy wasted in it. So I think it's great. I like having a lot of masculine energy around, but I welcome all the women too as well. Like, because obviously I think it's so great to have that like likelihood as well, because I obviously see their side of it as well. But we are trying to get the next generation as well, because a lot of the women that are like my age and stuff, they don't have the time. So like a lot of my friends and stuff in real life, like they've got full-time jobs, they're like nurses, dentists, whatever, like, and they don't have the time. Like they'll invest, like I've got them all wallets, they've all got like fairies and CNFTs in them, Makosi, like they've got everything. They've been investing for ages, but they don't have the time to be on Twitter and to be on spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what we're aiming with is like, we're trying to get the next generation of girls. So like it's hard for us to share a lot of photos and stuff because the girls are underage, but like we have like my brother's 15, so he has a lot of like friends that are girls at his age, and they use a lot of like animation apps, and we like onboard them, but we can't do a lot of photos because they're under 18. So like with them, we're just trying to get them used to like the Web3 place, because they've got that sponge brain that's like a little bit more like supple to it, and they've got the time and the extra energy to put in, rather than like my friends who have full-time jobs and lives.
Right.
We love working with men, and just most of the people who buy our NFTs are guys. So
Yeah.
And we love welcoming women into the space.
Yeah.
I think that I'm all about equality. Like, I just think people are people, and like everyone's got so like, oh, let's welcome the women, and I do think welcome the women, but like we're trying to get to that PC stage where it's like all fluid, and it's like welcome everyone. Whoever you are, alien, like whatever you like identify as a salmon. Come on, let's go. Let's fairy go salmon. Like, who cares? Like,
Who
I don't
cares
care
what
who
you
you are. Like, what do you have underneath you? It doesn't matter.
What would you say is the hardest part about being in such a male-dominated ecosystem, though?
Nothing, because I don't know if you're a male. I only talk to PFPs.
Yeah.
So I don't
that's
actually
true.
know.
Yeah, good.
Sometimes like a little bit, like I see like a few things that are maybe like a little bit off cuff, like with like in regard to stuff, and like I saw a comment, I think it was yesterday from Flantoshi, that was just like on point, because it was like about like the Instagram photos and like the girls trying to get like likes and just coming in for sort of like the egotistical value of like getting likes off of their photos.
Very hot. Very hot.
I just really love to be at a stage where we don't like judge on that. We judge on like what we're all
What's
talking
inside.
about. Well, what's inside,
Yeah.
but also what's inside my brain, because I've always been judged for how I look on the outside, and it's like no one's ever really taken time to like think about like how crazy what's going on in the inside of my brain is. Like, so it's just nice to like think we could like move towards a space where it's like let's welcome everyone, and then if they're a woman at the end of the day, it'll be all
Yep.
better.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you guys. So you are mother and his daughter. How was life growing up?
Pretty hectic with Fairy Godmother. Like, obviously we are like very high energy. We literally just got diagnosed with ADHD together last year. I'm 21.
Nice.
So it has been a whirlwind of life, but it has been a fun one indeed. Like, we've always been really magic and always just been like really, really high energy. Yeah, so it's just been
Same.
so great. Yeah.
I've lost both of my parents at a young age, so do you know what? What the hell? Life's too short.
Yep.
Right.
Be serious, and you have to take that chance sometimes. And I know life is so hard, but I tried to say to Tinkerbell, if you don't do it now, before you have kids, society just gets in the way, and it does. And at this moment in life, guys, we have this chance. I've learned so much, so if I can come into Web3 and learn Control V, like third-party applications, whatever it is, I didn't even know there was dick pics to start with, so... I didn't even,
Thank God. Thank God
know-
there are dick pics.
not
Dick
safe
pics for me
work.
to
I
send
didn't
the
even know what-
homies. Perfect.
So, if I can do it, we just want to change it to make everybody happy, a bit of fun, and obviously we want people to buy the very beautiful fairies that my daughter Tinkerbell makes, and I promote continuously on Twitter.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. And we want to make Big T smile. And I want to know why he's called Big T. Come on.
I don't know.
That's because
So-
you can see next to my name at the bottom. My actual name is Tyler, so it's just kind of like a
That's
It's like a
nice.
joke.
I thought you was going to come out with something else then, Stunner Boy.
But kind of going back to that question. So have you guys always been this close?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we've always been close. I started my first business with Mum when I was 23, so that was 6 years ago now. So like we've always been this close. Like, I don't know, we have a pretty unique relationship, and I always say to Mum, like, everyone has their own jigsaw puzzle, and like we sort of have like this jigsaw puzzle that I'm really grateful for. So why not embrace it? And like, I don't know, your mum and your best friend is just pretty fucking cool. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
And I lost my mum when I was 17, so I want to...
I always think that because my mum lost her mum, and I always think that, like, I want to just cherish every moment that I have. Like, everyone,
Yeah.
like, even when I was younger, people think, oh, it's uncool to hang out with your parents.
I'm
But if
cool.
you've got, like, someone like this, why not? Like, it's fun.
Yeah,
Like, I have
yeah,
fun every
exactly.
day. Like,
So do you guys live together then?
She's just moved back home! Ah!
So I kind of get where Tinker's coming from because although I do love my parents so much too, at the same time you need to kind of get time away to appreciate them even more. In my eyes, like that's a big reason why yes, I am 23, so I am living with my parents because everything costs so fucking much.
well,
But
fuck, the millennials are fucked, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
right.
there's no chance for you lot. That's
No.
why you have to do it a different way.
I'm going to buy an island.
So I might not buy an island, but I'm definitely gonna buy a fuck ton of NFTs. But with that, like, what would you say is the hardest part about living with your mom?
Oh, it's only been like 3 weeks now, but like I don't know. We get on so well. It's so hard not to. But I'm honestly like the mum. Like, I'm not even joking.
Oh, she
like,
tells me
I'm
off.
like, they used to say out like on site and stuff. I'm bad cop. She's good cop.
No, you're
But
good cop.
I'm bad cop. You're good cop.
Oh, okay.
because you're the like one that lets everyone do it. And I'm the strict one because she just leaves shit everywhere, all over the house, everywhere, literally you can
Very
see where
messy.
she's walked. She's just dropped on the floor. So I'm like the mum, and I'm like, okay, mum, let's do this, let's do that. So it's actually more of my responsibility. I look after her.
With my current situation, so I kind of resemble FGM, where I kind of leave my shit everywhere, and then my parents get all pissed off at me. But it's so hard being this entertaining. So I'm I've got to have shortcomings elsewhere. But then that kind of leads into our third question. So because you guys have known each other forever.
I give birth to her. Yeah. Pretty intimate.
Yeah, so you guys have known each other for a long time, let's say. So
9 years.
what's been y'all's biggest argument?
Don't even get us started. We fight a hell of a lot.
The arguments are real, y'all.
Yo.
Then we got magic. It gets powerful. It gets powerful. Mum actually army rolled out of a vehicle moving once, opened the door, and army rolled out of it whilst we were fighting. So that was probably the most epic one because she didn't want to be in the car anymore. So yeah.
Was the car going fast? Was the car going fast?
Yeah, I'd reversed out of the driveway and I started going that way, but I was a bit angry as well, so was pushing the gas.
We was in my cul-de-sac.
And then she just opened the door, rolled herself
That's
out.
crazy.
Dad's just on the driveway yep, they're at it again.
Because Molly was on her second degree and she pulled out of university. So
Yeah.
I was not happy as a parent. But now,
And I was trying to take her to a farm because I wanted to grow plants on a farm instead.
Mummy wasn't happy. But you know what now? All I want is for my kids to be happy. Because
See.
you know what? University, no matter what, life's too short. Just do what you want.
That's right.
Tyler, do you agree with that? That the most important thing is to be happy?
Are you asking because I'm a doomer?
Yeah.
I'm not
because I
always a
know you
doomer.
both
I'm
know.
happy. No, I'm happy.
But-
What do you-
but-
You're happy. Your soul's happy. You can
That's
tell
right.
you've got a happy soul.
That's right.
The
That's
light
right.
is on top of it sometimes, and
But-
it does.
But is that the most important thing to you?
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
happy.
well,
What is all this-
yeah. To be happy, because why not? Tomorrow you could step outside and lightning can strike your head and you'd be
Yeah.
gone. Why not? Why would you want to be anything but happy? You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like it goes on from that. It's also be happy, but be inquisitive. Be critical. Be a critical thinker. Think scientifically. Question things. Have hypotheses. Have answers. Question everything, because then that
Read
makes you
some
happy.
books.
Fuck no.
Mitch
no.
doesn't like books.
No books.
I love books.
We don't read books on this podcast.
I love books.
We don't talk about books.
Me and the
We don't
fairies
read
can read books together.
We don't even mention
I have
books.
to have in real life books. I can't do Kindles.
Yeah, I don't like Kindles. Yeah.
No, it's not the same.
I also have vertigo, so I feel like if I stare at the screen and try to read words while it's really bright, it makes the room spin. So I need to have a paper book.
This lift gives me such bad vertigo. I put it on and I'm like, where am I?
That's so funny.
Big T.
Yeah.
So, what's been the biggest argument that you've ever had with your parents?
I would say, so my mom actually set me up really good one time. So I have a lot of brothers and sisters. I talked about that on the pod, one of the last episodes. So I'm one of 6, so I'm in the middle. I have 3 older siblings and 2 younger siblings, so there's 6 of us. And I lived, basically my parents, we were all still living at home. All 3 of my older siblings were still living at home, and they were like, you all are too old. You need to go do something. Go live somewhere. We can't support all of you. You're too big. Okay? So they all got the boot. And then I was left with do I stay at home with my little sisters, or do I go live with my older brother? I was like, I'm going to go live with my older brother. This will be fun. So I just turned 18. I was like, I'm going to go live with my older brother. It'll be a great time. We had a blast. My mom found out from my sister that I had been smoking a little bit of weed with my brother. So my mom called me. I used to work on Saturday mornings at like 8 a.m. And my mom called me and was like, "Do you want to stop?" Her house was on the way to work. She was like, "Do you want to stop by? I'm making breakfast. Do you want to stop by my house?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds great. Like free breakfast on the way to work. This is great. I'm gonna get pancakes. I'm gonna have a good time." And then I knew it was bad when I showed up and walked through the kitchen from the garage. I walked through the kitchen and there was no pans, no pots. There was no food being cooked in the kitchen. And I was like,
pot.
No, there was no food.
No
So
pot.
then she yelled at me about that for like a good 20 minutes. Then I had to go to work and I didn't even get any breakfast. I was hungry. She didn't even feed me. So that was probably one of the better times that she yelled at me. Because it was such an because it was a good scheme. Like she schemed to have me drive over and everything. It was such a good plan.
That's what mums are for.
That's right.
My mom, so kind of like the two fairies, I got a massive dose of ADHD from my mom, but my mom kind of like channels her ADHD and like anxiety and like doing something all the time. Meanwhile, mine kind of like fairy godmother is like more. Let's just be loud. Let's just have a good time. So my mind like doesn't focus on things at all. So I'll go down. Like today, I went down and made breakfast at noon. And when I got down there, I made breakfast and made a massive mess, cleaned up like 99% of it. But my mom gets back, finds the one thing that I didn't do, and so for that reason, I kind of relate to Big T, where I'm like, maybe I should move out. But also at the same time, I'm like, saving so much money.
I moved out and still got in trouble.
Whole floor.
Well, I actually used to live with my brother, who was my housemate. He's 28, and we both moved back in, so they got double.
And boys are just messy.
Boys are just messy. It is bad.
Even if you wipe up, you don't do it properly.
When we were in high school, me and both of my older brothers, my only two brothers, they're both older than me, all of our bedrooms were in the basement of the house. So there's 3 bedrooms in the basement. We all slept in the basement. So it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind. My mom would never come downstairs because she knew it was dirty. So she would just always it was like off limits. She just never came down there.
It has like a boy smell.
It's like a stench.
It's like a stench with boys.
Oh, it smells so good. I love the way boys smell.
Oh
my god. No better smell. but so this next question is for fairy godmother. So as a mom, what are you most proud of about Tinker?
Art. And the way that she self-taught herself, like, obviously the way the Web3 now is coming on, I'm so proud of her, dedicated this young lady is, spending 18 hours at a time doing artwork, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm just proud of the person that she is. I'm proud of her soul. That's my most proudest moment.
When did you teach yourself how to do this phenomenal art?
It's been like such a huge journey. It's like I've done so many different like artistic things. Like I've done an arts degree, and then like I've always been into art, but it's not really like a viable. It wasn't really a viable income source before. Like it wasn't, as an artist, you could really go Etsy, and it's not really like you can't really make a wage off of it, sort of thing. So I've been doing art things for years. So it's like I said to Mum, it's like such a build up. When people ask me when did I learn, it's like so many years of like different things, like different tiny little like spurts of like energy in different places. Because like I ran an advocacy page for medicinal cannabis as well. So like I worked in a pharmacy dispensing like the first sort of like medicinal cannabis in Australia, because it only got legalized in 2016. So a lot of my art and design like was like I started doing it from that. So I started putting like buds into like different like scenes and stuff like that, and then that started off a lot of the journey. But I knew all the programs beforehand anyway, but it was just about adapting to like the new age programs from like even 2015. It was like so different, like with the programs and stuff like that. So I just learned, and I really got into AI because I love linguistics as well. Like I'm a huge writer, so I love AI because you can actually like with what you prompt is what you get. So it's like not as easy as people think. Like, well, it is like it is if you just put like one prompt in, you can't get a full photo
I can't
back.
do it.
But if you want specifics, like you have to get really, really, really specific, and you have to get emotional too. So it's really good for me because I am that writer and I can get emotional. You describe it emotionally, and like the prompting has taken like 6 months for me to learn. Just prompting these AIs, and even from the 6 months that I started using it, so much has evolved since then as well. Like coding, like Google Colabs, I all taught myself as well. Like there's just so much, and there's so much information.
Metadata, I can do metadata.
I have to do metadata, like.
Woo! Go fairy godmother. So are you saying that the art that is currently up for fairy friends that is AI based, or?
Yeah, but then I put them like through Photoshop, and because obviously AI is not perfect, like because like I don't know if you've seen some of the ones that like come out and their eyes are like really weird, and they've got like bits of their faces like missing and stuff like that. So like what I do is like I get my fairies, and like I have different like so it's like. So it's so like complicated because I've done it so long ago. It's like image data sets that are like different genes that I've made of them, and then the genes get put into like different. So it's just like different clans have different genes, and then like it's a long process. There's so many different image data sets that go together. Then they produce something. Then I put it through Photoshop, and then I've designed the little like monograms, the clans and stuff like that. So then it's just like a couple of different.
So they start off AI, but then they don't finish AI.
I have to touch every single one of them individually.
And they're all blessed.
The way that AI like type of art is taking over is fucking insane. Because my buddy Liam, he did a AI art, and he just looked up like zombie girl and beach, and then it turned into something like fucking massive. That was beautiful.
Like, time is currency, and AI like. It just makes like the time, because like I've watched so many documentaries on it, and I am an artist anyway. I can do the other traditional art way. I can draw. I'm good at it. But if you think about time currency and the way that we live in the world at the moment, like it just makes it so much better. Like I spent a lot of time on Fairy Friends because I spent like 6 to 9 months making them, because like that was just my artist personal journey. But if you do want to make like a discography cover really quickly as a musician, and you don't have to then pay another person to do it, you can jump in there and you can go, I want this as my discography thing. I don't have to pay an artist anymore. I can do it for myself, and I just love that, like enabling to like creatives to be like, okay, so I don't need to hire a designer to do my art cover. I'll do my art cover myself, and then I'll do the music myself as well, and I'll do it all on my own. Like I just like that sort of like enabling of the future, so we can all just like, it's just ease, it's time, it's ease. And a lot of them say that they just like they add on to the AI as well, so it's like a tool that they use. But the only thing I don't really know about is like original prompting. But then when you're using another person's, like when you're saying like a style of art that you're doing it in, that's really hard, because it's like that artist has taken a lot of time to have their body of work created. So then if you're saying at the end of it blah 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 style, then you're using their body of work as a reference point. So that's the only thing that I don't know about, like with the like the property and stuff like that.
Okay.
That kind of leads us into the giveaway that we will be doing, which is we will be giving away a beautiful fairy friend, and that should be over there. So I think it's over there, but if it isn't over there,
but if it isn't, it's over there.
It's over. Yeah,
It's not over there.
Maybe up there,
No,
but it's definitely
it's
not
definitely there
down
because we
there.
sent her.
And she's from the Willow Warriors, so there's 4 clans, and they all like I like kind of done them like, I'm a little bit of a psychoanalyst. I love like behavioral analysis, so I sort of done them in different like personality types, so everyone could sort of relate to a certain clan. So the Willow Warriors are like the soldiers and the fighters of like the fairy forest, and they're like sort of like the protectors. So like I like that sort
And
of
it
vibe
is
to give
really
out.
strange because a lot of people are pulling our fairies and they're pulling their own star signs. And when I've done the metadata, or whatever you want to call it, I actually went through 1111 and blessed. I'm not a witch. I'm a fairy godmother. But I blessed each and every one of them. I just said, I hope they give the people who purchased these off myself and Tinkerbell some love. So I hope they truly do, because everybody needs a bit of sparkles in their life.
That's right.
Especially Big T! Boom, boom!
Woo! We love Big T.
I love you both.
Oh, I love Big T so much. So much.
Stutter tries to text me at 5 in the morning, 3 times a week at least, minimum.
Hey, you up?
He
You up,
does love you.
big boy?
He just hasn't gone to
You
sleep
up?
yet.
You lonely? Because I am. but so for our big fairy friends giveaway, Tyler, what's going to be our big word?
This week we're gonna do magic as our word, because we all need a little magic. So we're gonna do magic as our word this week.
Perfect.
I love that I get to pick the words. This is great.
Yeah, me too.
How do we play the game?
How do we play the game?
What's the rules?
So we'll tweet it out, but it'll be basically like retweet, follow you both, or follow the Fairy Friends account on Twitter, follow us, and then comment magic, or the word, whatever the word that we've chosen, which is magic this week. Comment that under the giveaway post, and then we'll basically roll a winner after like 3 days, and whoever's done those things, they will win. 4 days.
Yeah.
And they get a fairy.
Magic.
And they'll get the magic.
Where are you
That's
from,
right.
Big T? Can I ask? Because I really like your accent. I love you.
So I'm from North Carolina in the U.S. So it's like in the South, but like kind of the top of the South. So we are not like real Southern, but not like city folks.
Southern.
Right, okay. So where are you from, Stunner Boy?
Is that where the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is from? Sorry.
No, that's from California.
Yeah, I think it's in Cali, right?
Yeah.
So where's
Yeah, because Bel Air's in Cali. Yeah, so I'm on the opposite coast. So like California's on the west coast. I'm all the way like 3,000 miles on the east coast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So although I don't sound like it, so I am as south as it gets, because I live over in Texas.
Yeah, but you don't sound like you're old.
No, my accents are so bad, but that's because where I live, I am in the metro area, like of Dallas. But if you go like 30 minutes either east or west or north or south, they've got a hard southern accent.
So they like the ones who are like, yeah, oh.
No, Mum says
No.
it.
Y'all.
Like 2 syllables.
No,
Like,
yes,
yeah, oh,
yes.
but it's y'all.
Y'all.
It's just y'all. Yeah.
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 I don't know. Well, obviously you know we're English and we live in Australia, so.
So y'all is one of the couple things that I do take, like because saying,
Yeah, I say that all the time.
You all. That's so long when
It's
you
too many words.
Say, y'all.
Yo.
In Australia, it's like use. Like
Use.
use
Which makes sense, and it's so much better than you all.
I like use. I'm gonna start saying use.
Bro,
Use.
You'll sound so dumb.
I do sound dumb when I say it. Use.
Because you've got that American accent, maybe sometimes sound a bit south, but you use Aussie slang. You can, but
well, Aussie slang is just like adding O to the anything, like so the service station servo, the skate park skato. Like,
yeah.
There's like got their smoke break is smoko. Like it's just everything.
That's so funny.
Davo, the Indo's going to the Skato.
don't you guys also add Y, like Brecky?
Yeah.
Or is that
Brecky.
They just shorten everything, like McDonald's is Macca's.
Y'all are so lazy over there, shit.
Yeah, but we're not lazy.
Actually, that's so funny. So I'm like addicted to my phone. I get my screen report every Sunday, and so I got it yesterday, and I think I averaged 7 hours and 15 minutes on my phone every day.
Nothing.
That's like my
Every
average.
day.
Yeah,
Nothing.
but because listen, I'm like addicted to TikTok. It's a problem, right? So I just scroll mindlessly.
We watch random people doing things. It's weird.
Yeah, but one of my favorite TikToks, I'll have to DM it to you guys, the guy's account. It's this guy who's from Australia, but he moved, he's like living in the States. He's like my age, but he just like moved to the States, and he keeps driving around to different places and making fun of how like large our beverages are. Like, cause you go to the gas station and you can get a Coke and it's like literally like as big as my face. And he's like, "Why do you guys drink this? It's so big."
Bucket of Coke.
Or like coffees.
Coming from the UK, Australia is bigger. So then America's just gone that bit bigger.
Yeah, or like coffees. He gets like a large coffee and it's like as big as this can. And he was like, "If I get a large coffee in Australia, it's like this big."
This is our large coffee.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you get a large coffee from...
We have to find the cafes that do the large ones, though, because we like them large.
There we go.
Which leads us perfectly into the next question. So, next question is kind of regarding dating. What is y'all's type?
Large.
Large and in charge.
I've been married 33 years, so I would say
Oh,
my husband
congrats.
is my type. Yeah, my husband's going to be my
That's
type.
awesome.
Even though he gets pissed off, I get pissed off with him for breathing now.
Yeah.
So my type is tall, dark and handsome. She's still looking for the love of her life, so I'll let her speak.
So maybe we might be able to help you.
Yeah, put your type out there, and then we'll find somebody.
We always do.
An ape.
I normally go for more people with like sort of ambition and like intellect, but I'm not really like I don't really go for what they look like. I go for if I like feel their energy and I like what they're talking about, because it's all about the conversation for me. I couldn't be with someone boring, or I couldn't like be with someone who I couldn't talk to. I fucking talk so much, so I just have to talk all the time. So a chatter.
Something I've like kind of learned is, yes, like you said, somebody that knows something like super well, but if they know like Cardano or Crypto, to me that blows my mind. Because, like, yes, I've met people online or people over the internet that do know things about it. But whenever I meet somebody that actually knows about Cardano or NFTs or crypto, that is like such a big turn on. Like, whether that's a female or a male, that to me blows my mind. But then, kind of like you said, my type doesn't really exist because I've dated so many people. Because I've been with white girls, I've been with black girls, I've been with Asians. So I don't think that so much matters, but it's more so somebody more opening to learning.
Yeah.
That to me is beautiful, even if some other people might not think. So, T?
I think everybody wants that deep down, don't they, though? Everybody wants... Because it doesn't matter if you're really pretty, like as a woman, if you're really beautiful, you don't actually look like that when you get up in the morning. Because you don't, because you have to do
or you might, but then like talking to you might be like talking to this wall behind me. Like it might just be boring, you know.
But once you get to my age, you're not attractive. So
and I feel like it's all just personal as well, because there is people out there that don't really care and they will just like sit with a brick wall when they don't actually like really care about that emotional connection. Like they just want to do the things that society tells them to do, and they just don't really, but like I guess if you like have a different like outlook on life, and like all of us in the Web3 industry kind of probably do, because we have chosen this industry to be a part of. which
Yep.
is very different. So like to get on with people, and I do like talking to everyone online because I mean we all get along because I've been on dates and I've been on things and they don't understand what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
it is really hard, especially in Australia. It's a bit more backward and the men are a bit more like, ooh, like brute. They're a bit more like cavemen-y. So
Yeah.
like I've got a few friends here that are in the industry, like in Sydney. There's a guy who works for an NFT agency, marketing and stuff like that. But it's not like huge, and you can't know
Yeah.
everyone. So it's so good to have the internet and to be able to speak to all you guys because it's
Yeah.
like fun. You get my sense of humor and like it's just cool. We all connect.
Yeah.
So I completely agree. So are you guys going to CNFTCon?
Are we going? Are we
No.
going? Are we going? I've been
me-
married 33 years and I'm allowed that. Get in. I'm going to Vegas. Got me bags packed. We're there. I'm marrying in the Chapel of Love. Elvis.
She's already told my dad she's coming home with Elvis.
Do it. You better bring a bunch of fairy dust because I think we are all going to
The after
need
party
that.
will be lit with heaps
Yeah.
of fairy
Oh,
dust.
Wait,
yeah.
when isn't
pounds and pounds.
CNFTCon soon? It's in October, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
next month. Well,
Next
I
month.
guess. Yeah, a month and a
Holy
bit.
September.
shit.
Wait,
I
is
need
it
to buy
September or October?
tickets.
It's
October.
Oh, wait,
October.
it's October.
Okay, it's October. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going, unfortunately, but next year I'm going.
Which is mostly because Tyler's getting married to his type.
Yeah, in October. Yeah, so I have a busy October lined up.
Oh, that's so cute.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
so nice.
I love weddings.
Oh, God. So what's her name?
So it might be hard to pronounce for people that aren't from like Midwest, but it's Tawny. It's Tawni.
Tawny.
Yeah,
Tawny.
kind of, but
You sound like an American, Tawny.
Tawny.
yeah, yeah, but not as drawn out. It's more like short.
You're both T's. You're both T's.
You're both T's.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
T's
TNT.
are.
Yeah, TNT.
Oh,
That's us.
so cool.
Then when they have kids, they'll have little T's.
No, I'm done with T's because my brother's name also is T. So it's too much. It's too many T's. I don't like it. No more T's. No more
So
T's.
what day do you actually get married on?
The 22nd of October. So the third weekend. Yeah.
Is
That's
she
soon.
stressing or is she okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, stress.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What's the organizer?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's
Oh,
send you
yeah.
all the love and you be as married as long as what I have.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank
So-
you. That means a lot to
Because
me.
it's hard work, but you can do it together. That's it. You do
That's
it
right.
together.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that leads us perfectly into next question. So not all of us are nearly as lucky as Big T and Fairy Godmother. So for those people out there, what is y'all's best dating advice?
I don't really have any good dating advice because I
Neither do I. We need this, Tinker. We need this.
Right, my dating advice is...
Well, what is my
Yes,
dating
please.
advice wrong because I'm single? Like, I don't know. Like,
No, I always say to Tinkerbell, you know, like, it hasn't got to be the one, but Big T, you're getting married, so you must kind of know that Tawny was, you do know, you just
You
know.
do know. Yeah. No. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so when you're on a date,
So we
after
don't
3
know.
or 4 times, guys are different. If it's not
Yeah.
working, move on.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of bail. I bail so fast because I just kind of like I know straight away if someone's like not right. Like I don't know. I'm really energetically like that, so I just kind of know, and I'm like, okay, bail. So I don't really have
Well,
any
see,
good
yeah.
dating tips.
But see, if you're
I'm
already like that, then like
I'm like, sorry, I just don't feel it. Like, and I'm like, sometimes that makes my things really short because I'm
Yeah.
really honest really quickly because like I just don't see the point in wasting time. And I don't know if that's my ADHD, but like I think that like if you know something, just tell someone. And maybe that's like my like strength and my like soldier attitude. But like I would rather like not a like dirty lie like I like you or come over or whatever. Just tell me you don't like me. rather than like pulling me along. Do you know what I mean? Like I think the
Yeah,
transparency.
because life's too short to waste time doing
Yeah.
stuff.
And if you're a lady or a girl, don't sleep with a man on the first date.
Mm-hmm.
Respect your body.
Respect.
Respect yourself.
Because one of my male friends told me something once, and it really affected me because he said, "You're receiving something, and they're giving something."
Yeah.
When you have intercourse. So if you think about that, you're receiving something, they're giving something. So there is actually an exchange of energy there somewhere. So it is a big thing, and I feel like that has to be noted because there's a lot of girls that just give it up so easily.
Yes.
And although I'm very single currently,
Very single, not just single, very single.
very single. This past week, there was a massive miscommunication. So make sure that you make your intentions extremely clear, like very clear. So maybe if you do want a real relationship, then say that. Maybe if you don't know, then say that. But if you go and say, this is kind of what I'm searching for, then you might have better luck. Because I don't. Because
I read
don't.
somewhere that like you can only convey like I think it's something like 3% of emotion via text. So it's like sometimes you can get like with what people are saying, but it's really hard when you can't hear the way that they're saying it in their voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a big issue too.
Yeah, and that's not even like outside of like the dating world. That's even like a big because I work from home and I love working from home. I always want to work from home because I get to like wake up not when I want, but a little later. Like I don't have to drive. Like it's great. But also like you were saying, like it's hard when someone will like message you something and then I'm like, well, I feel like he had an attitude when he said that. But like if I were to talk to him on the phone, like it's completely, he didn't mean it that way. It's just the way you convey it when you like type something out to somebody. There's like no emotion behind it.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that.
Explain that to me big time because we work on the web now, and obviously the way I've worked in sales with financial, I've spoke to people, I've gone, oh, they haven't replied straight away, they don't want it, and she goes, Mum, come on, it's like, it's just a text message, it's not nothing. She's had to explain to me that there's no emotion in it.
It's going to be more informal now.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, so you worked in sales?
Well, I worked in the financial industry for a long time. Yeah, I worked for a Swiss bank, so
cool.
I know how that's changed. Banking is not exactly the same.
So Mum's taught me a lot about the financial industry. Like we've had like huge D&Ms, like huge talks about like how like money works and stuff like that.
I worked in the stock exchange.
Yeah, that's cool.
Future trading.
That's
I
cool.
love banks.
So people don't know with gold coins in London. People don't know things about everyone. Then we moved to Australia and we've had a construction business, but we was owed $60,000, so we had to give that up because the building company collapsed.
Well, we didn't have to. We chose to
because
there was like multiple construction companies that were going bust in Australia, and they were just like, because we were contractors to them, they were owing us money, and we were just invoicing them, and they just weren't paying. So we're creditors to like companies, and now they're like paying like 3 cents on the dollar or something. It's just ridiculous. So we got out of that industry because it's just like, I mean, got into another volatile industry. You know?
Why not?
Why not?
Very, very, very volatile.
Yeah,
It's okay.
very.
We like
a risk.
That's right.
So are you guys doing this full time then?
Full time.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Full time. Our jigsaw puzzle fits because there's like we said, Tinkerbell's moved home.
So there's not like obviously a lot of people that can do it, but like if you're at a point in your life where you can, like there's a lot of times where I say to Mum where you have to like sit down, focus, work really hard, and then like expand after. So like I feel like this is the part now where I'm like sitting down, focusing, working really hard, building, and then expanding like as we come to America and like come to the cons and start like doing our speaking events and stuff like that. So like it'll just be so much fun. Like, and we've got a crypto convention in the Gold Coast coming up as well, so there's like quite a few people from around the world coming there, and they're
cool.
talking about us being on a panel there and stuff like that. So it's all just getting really exciting. So it's just all about building now and then expanding in the future.
So you guys have seen the bull market. We are now seeing the bear market. So as people that do this full time, how does that change?
How does it change?
Yes.
You're both quite clever. Everybody can do the sums.
Yep.
That's why we do all the work ourselves.
Yep.
Absolutely
Good.
everything.
Good.
Yeah.
16 hours a day. Sorry, we sit here, we work. I'm 53. I've learned how to do metadata.
But I'm pretty bad.
So,
Like, I've got like huge trust issues as well because like a lot of like projects have like stuff happen to them when they give credentials over to other people. So like
Yeah.
at the moment, if I can like handle it, and like we have like relatives in the UK and stuff like that, I have like design friends here that I really really trust. So like if I keep it close knit, close circle, like it just seems like to me like that's a lot more secure for my holders, a lot more secure for like everyone who's involved as well. Like
Yeah.
That end, you kind of just don't owe anybody anything, because I feel like everybody's like searching for that come up, which I mean is fine, but we all have such new ideas of doing things, where I feel like tinier teams kind of benefit from these bare shitty times. But
yeah, and you know what, like, I don't even know what, I'm being serious, I don't know what a community manager is. I don't know what it is. So how can I offer that to
you?
But how can I offer that to somebody? I've had so many people who want to go on our Discord, but I don't know you. I've had a real life business. If I was going to employ you, I'd interview you on a Zoom meeting.
Or I'd like them to have them like sitting here with us so we could like openly discuss ideas, or like have these Zoom meetings. Because of our time zone, we really have to like, it's hard because like there's such a difference. Like we're a day and a half.
We're in the future!
Yeah, we're living in the past.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Losers! Joking!
That's so funny. That's so funny because in the Voyage Discord that Stutter and I are both in, there's this guy in there who's also he lives in Australia, and I literally was messaging him back and forth trying to get the time zones correct. This is definitely the hardest time zone conversion to get. Like with Max and Yannick, because they're in like Switzerland, it's a little bit easier. Like I can do that in my head, but because you're a whole day in front of me, it's terrible. I was like, so if you're +10, like, and I'm minus this, how does that, like, what is the time? I don't know what time it is. Yeah, it was so bad.
Well, next question we have kind of talks about books, boring, but if you...
No, it's not boring.
But...
Books are wonderful.
Books are
so
boring.
Be a reader, not a breeder.
I love it.
So I'm not going to be either, and that is fine. But if you had to make a book, what would the title of that book be called?
You made a book. What was it called?
Or something, but
Playing the Game of Life.
And what would that book be about?
It would be giving tips on life skills
And
that I've learned.
And
To
what?
make your life flow in a better and easier way.
Yeah. So what would be the most important tip that you could give people?
Sorry. Your word is your wand. Be careful what you wish for.
because the grass is not always greener on the other side. And that's
That's
normally
right.
what people think. People don't really sit down and think, oh, things have changed. They always just find a new negative to kind of like complain about. So it's like sometimes just sit down, think about your situation, think how great is it, because sometimes it's not as bad as you think, and think maybe would I actually want what I'm wishing for? Because there's so many times in my life that I've sat down and I've wished for something, including men, and then you get them and you're like, don't really want this.
Right.
Whoopsies.
Right. Well, it's not, your grass isn't always greener. It's all on the other side. It's always greenest, like where you water it most, right? So, like, if your grass is struggling, you just need to take more time. Yeah, you just need to take some more time to understand what's going on. That's what I always think.
Yes.
But then you could also give it too much water, and then it floods, and then your dog drowns because
In your plant, he drowns in the plant.
No. So the grass is not always greener. So if you keep on watering that grass. Then it'll flood, and then it'll kill the dog. Then the neighbor's house gets flooded.
I don't agree with this metaphor because we both live in the South, so we know that this is not right. This is not right. It's too hot.
The grass is always greener on the other side, but the greenest grass is usually fake. Like
that's right. It's turf. It's not real.
Yeah. It's not real. And I've had to learn that working in Web3.
Yeah.
A lot of these things are not real.
Yeah.
So
Most things
be
are.
real to yourself, and your word is your wand. Just
That's right.
be careful what you speak of.
That's right.
Tigger-
Stutter, what would you write a book about?
So, my book would be called "How to Do Everything," but in the wrong order.
And what would be like the context of it? Like, what's it about?
The context would be me talking about my life, talking about the dumb shit I've done, but talking about how all of that dumb shit I've done has kind of pushed me to a better path that I'll now be on. So it's me doing everything in the complete opposite order, but getting to the best area because I kept on going. So
it's sort of like that because it's like you're grateful for your experiences because they made you who you are, because you don't want to regret your experiences or wish them away, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't have that accumulation of all of these experiences.
Yeah,
right.
but some of them were so backwards where I'm like, maybe I should have left after like a couple weeks, but then it's like. But
see, that's where it is going with the flow.
And intuition
and knowing.
But it's so hard. Like everyone, like no one knows really. Like I have intuition, but sometimes my intuition's wrong. Like you kind of have this thing called like society and brainwashing, and you're like your body tells you one thing, and then your mind tells you another thing. It's really weird.
Oh my god, that is what's going on in my life currently.
Every day, all day.
Yeah, well, it's just because
Your
we live.
society, they don't matter.
Yeah, we just live with so many like inputs, right? Like it's constantly stuff, but you can never keep up with like what you put out because there's too much coming in. So it's hard to make a balance of that. Yeah, it's hard to make a balance of it.
And then at the same time, you are constantly evolving and changing, and sometimes you will lean backwards, but then you're like, should I be backwards or should I keep going? But if I keep going, then will I miss out on something else? So maybe I should grow that way. But it's like you are already doing so much in this way. Where is it possible to grow that way? So it's kind of like finding.
I'm so confused.
It's your mind. No, your mind plays tricks with you.
Yeah.
It just plays tricks with you all the time. If it wasn't for me, think about when we putting this art on there, because I'm saying to her, come on, do it. Because your mind goes, oh, should we do it this way? Should I do it that way? Should I do it this way? Everybody's mind does this to them. It's a hard thing to conquer.
Yeah.
And there's this thing with ADHD that you get called time agnosia, and like you can't like put like time spans like together properly. So like a lot of the things that take short amounts of time you think take a long amount of time. Things that take a long amount of time you think take a short amount of time. Like it's really weird. So I feel like I know what you mean with like you don't have enough time to think and fit everything in, but it's just a case of like writing it all down and putting like a time against it, because I get that with the time it's really hard.
Then with doing the editing for this, and then doing the Uber, which is hard, and then my sister getting engaged, so I'm like, maybe I should begin dating again. But it's also like, do I have time to fit that in?
How?
Well, that's why I stopped, because I'm like, I literally don't have time, because like I'm constant. How rude! Like I can't be off my phone at the moment. Like if I was like sitting down on the couch and watching a movie, I'm like, I'm just on Discord and Twitter. Like
Oh, me too. That's why my screen time is too high.
Yeah,
but
your partner knows you now, so that's different. She knows what you're trying to do, and Big T, you're trying to better your future. Together.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's why it's good to meet someone in the industry, because then you could probably work together to better the future.
You never know. Might have to find a fairy
Right, what star sign are you?
Me?
Yeah.
So I'm born in April. So the end of April. So I think I'm a Taurus.
Yeah.
I'm an
Yeah,
aquarium.
we're better.
Aquarium.
Oh, we love
Aquarium.
that.
I always say I'm an aquarium when people ask me that.
I'm an Aquarius. My little boy, my son's an Aquarius, and he is the most beautiful. I love my other son, obviously, but he's my baby. He's my own Australian, and he's an Aquarian, and he's just so loving. He actually reminds. He does.
That's why-
Like, he's just got
Aw.
such a beautiful soul, like you have, and you.
Thank
Starboy.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's why I say
Starboy's
me,
nice.
me and my mom are both that we both have the same sign, so that's why I think we get along so well because we're like the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in these things? Like
Yeah.
these signs?
Yeah.
I literally have had, like, because I'm such a critical thinker and because I'm the ADHD, I get the hyper focus, and like I really have like done a lot of my life with like scientific thinking. Like I like to, the pseudoscience gets me, it does, I'm a fairy obviously, but I like to have that like scientific behind it. But I've done so much esoterical learning, and it's so much more than just like the stars. It's about like the gases that come from the planets that affect your hormones inside of your body. Like it's just so much more than just a personality type. Like there's so much more to it than just that, because there's so much ancient knowledge around it.
But
like,
you do all resonate slightly with your star sign.
Yeah.
Which to me, so I'm not saying you guys are incorrect at all, but I think to me, which I am a Taurus, but I kind of believe that we can all kind of fit ourselves into all of these things. So I'm not sure if I believe it, but
It's really hard. It is hard.
Yeah.
Like, do you believe? Do you not believe? Like,
yeah,
when even like down to when my dad passed away, he was the most non-believer. Oh,
Yeah.
everyone's got an uncle called Bill, John. But there were certain things that happened in my life, and I
Yeah.
still don't know whether that is magical or.
I study a lot of like neurology and neuroscience and stuff, and the brain is a very powerful thing, like a very, very powerful thing. So I have the half skeptic in my mind as well,
Yes.
because I think that's only healthy to have that yin yang, to have that
Yeah.
question always, because
Yeah.
I'm a yogi as well. We practice yoga, so it's always good to have that like question mark, because we will never know everything.
Yep.
I don't know nothing. I know nothing. No one knows anything. We all know nothing, because nothing is ever like true, because we don't all know the truth. We're all just perceiving what we think
we
is
don't know.
true. So it is. I'm a bit of a philosopher. So I just like, I don't know. I like
I love
questioning
that.
everything, and like balance of like just yes and no in my body.
so I completely get that, and like over the past like probably 5 years, with going to college, dropping out, then going and working for the government, getting kicked out, then going and working for Amazon, and like them firing me. Like before that, I was kind of religious, but during that time, I'm like, maybe I should focus more on me, which kind of put me more onto Cardano and crypto. But then these past like probably 7-8 months, I've been a Uber, and I've met so many people that for me to pick them up, it's made so much sense to me. Like whether that be, I ended up picking up the CEO of a massive gaming convention in Dallas. Then that guy gave me free tickets for me and my buddies, and then there I kind of learned that I'd like to go more towards the content creator than it just be another TikTok influencer, be another CNFT influencer, but do the content better than people are currently doing on.
And that's what I
Cardano.
love, like when you have
Yep.
them little serendipitous events that come up in your
Yep.
life, and it's like,
Then-
I'm meant to be here. Even though people or society might think Uber's not that great, but like I've just had all of these opportunities that I wouldn't have had if I was sitting in a CEO position, because these opportunities are going to make my story or my jigsaw puzzle
My
up.
puzzle.
And like you got
Which-
kicked out of somewhere. I got told that I wasn't allowed to get confirmed from the Catholic school that I was at because I was off with the fairies, like legitimately. So
That's so funny. Fitting.
That's so
fitting.
funny.
But so if that was the only situation like that would have happened, then maybe I'd be like, oh, that was just luck. But then like my breaks began like getting worn down. And that same day, my last Uber was a guy that manufactures these brakes. So I ended up saving like $500 on it. So I'm like, this is weird. Then like 2 weeks later, when I'm beginning the podcast, but I'm kind of like, now is this going to work because of the way I talk? I ended up being introduced to somebody that her husband, he is doing a clinical with medical mushrooms.
No.
So
that makes me so freaking happy.
which could technically fix the way I talk, or just do a bunch to help it. Then like maybe 2 weeks after that, so I ended up picking up a chiropractor that told me that it could also be like 2 nerves there that got like tangled up, so I could get it fixed like that. Then after that Uber, I kind of came to a moment where I'm like, maybe there is somebody like way up above, or some ghost, or something more. That
It's the
That-
good energies.
You are good.
You are good.
You are God. Like that's what I always
Yeah.
think. Everyone puts it to this like certain entity that's something else. And if you just start believing that you're powerful and you're bringing this to yourself because you deserve it, that is just like so much more powerful than putting it and projecting it onto a separate entity. Because
Yep.
then you're giving that entity your power. You're saying that someone
Yep.
else is doing it for me. This angel, this God. No,
Yep.
I'm doing it for myself because I deserve it. Like I deserve
Yeah.
after all this time to get rid of it. It's got to be
Yeah.
gone.
And I
Like,
have to tell you something, Stutter Boy.
Yeah.
My dad had a stutter
let's
until
go.
he was 25.
and it just went.
Meaning
and it
I have
just-
time.
he met my
Meaning I have
mum,
time.
and he kept
Let's go.
saying to me, he kept saying, I don't know how your mother is actually with me because
Yeah.
I couldn't string a sentence together.
Yeah.
And my mum used to say he couldn't. He asked her out for a drink, and he told me a funny story. He said he got pulled over once, and they asked him the way for directions, but the other person stuttered, and he said I couldn't answer them because I would be going the road is down." He said, and they
That's
would
so
be
funny.
thinking that I'm making fun of them. He
Yeah.
said, so I had to go I can't talk.
Yeah.
So he just said he couldn't believe it. When I was born, when he was 25, he woke up one morning and he didn't have it.
That's so cool.
And he said he
Which
said if I'd have heard him speak, he wouldn't have realised it was the same person.
Yeah. So
So-
I've watched a bunch of videos, and kind of the way it is that mushrooms could fix it is there's like two nerves that are like this, that like say I do a large dose of the drugs, which is funny because I'm wearing a Dare shirt, but then what that could do is bring these together, which is kind of what I'm guessing did fix your.
Because like psilocybin is like a really, really interesting like drug that interacts with the brain, because there's not any other drug that mimics what psilocybin does, just like THC. There's only like certain things where it interacts with, like there's like a thin valve in one of the cortexes in your brain, and like nothing else can interact with that apart from psilocybin. So like there's obviously ways and means that like all of these like clinical trials are going to become and see how, because obviously imaging technology has gotten so much better over the years as well, like and like adaptation to natural therapies, like before we had like devil's lettuce as THC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole new industry that we could find all these new like healing alternatives. It's just great.
Yeah. They're not drugs.
Like when I first like found psilocybin and like magic mushrooms, and like I've seen people like get out of depression from it. Like my friends like who have been in psych wards, they literally just like stopped taking all of their like prescribed medication, psilocybin, and it's just like cured them so much. And it's like for so many years I thought like this is such a good way of like therapy and so many like uses from it, and then to see it actually get like put through clinical trials is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the next day I like finally came down and was like, maybe there is something out there. The next day, my first Uber, I ended up Ubering a guy that does YouTube professionally. So it's like, what the fuck? This is exactly what I'm doing, what I'm going to do my best to kind of turn into, become.
That's called flow.
Yeah.
That's called flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah. Which I have been for so long, but nothing seemed to go my way.
Well, it wasn't flowing then, was it? It wasn't flowing. I think got chucked out. It wasn't flowing.
Yeah, well, and that's just like I can't. Like one of my friends told me, or it wasn't a friend. Somebody told me. I can't remember who told me. Someone at a bar, probably. I can't remember. But somebody told me that like there's only two things that they live by, and that's that everything can't always be good and everything can't always be bad, right? So like things will be bad for a while, but all you know is that it won't always be that way, right? It'll turn around, and when things are good, you should enjoy it because it's not always going to be good. Things will be bad eventually, you know.
Yeah.
And like Tinkerbell said,
always be like this all the time. You can't always be smiling. There's things in your life that do get the better of you, and it's hard to turn that key to be thinking the positive. So we've just got to keep on trying.
Yeah.
Go with that flow in that Uber. Does it mean you should be an Uber driver?
Yes. So honestly, because of all of these fantastic opportunities I've got, and I do make super good money doing it. Like low key, it's not a bad idea for people doing a Web3 to pick up Uber driving, because you need to get better at talking to people. Or
you can work in sales.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
We love sales. Let's go. Buy my stuff.
With doing a podcast, you need to know how to kind of guide a conversation, even when there's two crazy fairies. You need to kind of know how to bring things back, then keep it going, and that is what I do when I Uber. So I feel like for anybody doing something in Web3 where you need to know how to talk to a audience, then doing Uber, it's super easy.
Can you imagine us coming to pick you up?
Enjoyable.
That'd be awesome. That'd be the best Uber.
with a car covered in fairy dust.
Yeah.
You get in and have to like brush
God.
the glitter aside so you can sit down on the seat.
I'll be throwing it over.
No,
That's
no.
so funny.
Maybe not fairy godmother, but anybody else. It's such a good job because it's so easy and you get to know so many people. So.
Yeah, it seems like the younger people are doing it now. Like here, DoorDash and Menulog, it's all like 17-year-olds.
I mean, it was just because, like, what else is there to do? Like, the job market, jobs suck, the economy sucks, everything sucks.
Doomer alert, doomer alert.
I'm a doomer. I'm a realist. That's what I like to say.
No, you're a realist. See, that's how you can turn it around to a positive.
Yeah,
It is bad at the moment.
Yeah, it is bad.
What
Yeah, that's
else
what I'm
can we
saying.
do?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it's not bad, but I'm also going to say that it's not always going to be bad.
No, because it goes in cycles. This has happened in my lifetime, so learn how to get on the bandwagon.
Except for we haven't had this much debt in the world.
In the world, ever.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
That's
rough.
why we need crypto.
I don't know how you can get ahead. I honestly don't.
Oh my god. So going back to Uber, so I ended up Ubering the head lobbyist for Coinbase.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So fucking weird, which these are things that you never get just doing sales.
You never know. You
No,
could
you
get that
you
too.
do get
could.
cool like I don't know, like I talked to this dude at like the beginning of the year that literally like out of every place in the United States and the world, I talked to people in like Canada, Switzerland, wherever, not Australia, the time zones don't really work out that well, but you know, most places around the world, I talked to people, and I called this one dude, and he happened to live in the same city that I live in, and we were talking about, like, our favorite restaurants for, like, half an hour. Like, it is just cool. Like, what are the odds that you called, or I called you, and you literally live, like, 3 minutes down the street from me out of everybody I talk to all day. So, it's cool.
I love
cool.
the like story of like fate, or the question of fate and free will, like if it's in your path or if it's like something that you've chosen to do. Because I watched this documentary once, and it was like if it's about good luck or if it's about like the intelligence, and it's like 9 out of 10 of these NASA astronauts said that it was down to good luck that they got to be an astronaut. So it wasn't so much down to like the way that they like had their degree or intelligence. It was down to these certain serendipitous events that happened in their lives that they probably couldn't recreate, if that makes sense. Like if someone asked them how they got there, more down to luck. So I love that conversation to see if it's like, if it's in your path, is it going to be there no matter what you do beforehand, or is it like something that you have to get to? Like I love that convo because it's just so like, it's so weird because like you with the Uber, was you meant to get in the Uber with that guy to show you to do all these different things? Like it's just so weird because it all does piece together.
Yeah.
And I've also only been doing Uber like 7 months. So
exactly, and all these little events.
For all of those things to happen, for me to get so comfortable at talking to everybody, to anybody, it's pretty fucking unique.
Oh, it's fucking, sorry, it's very awesome.
I have such a
It's
visual
Very
memory.
awesome. It's very awesome.
It's
real.
very
It's like that jackpot
fucking
moment that,
awesome.
like,
Yeah, it's very awesome.
Yeah.
Like when we
Yeah.
first see you, obviously because like what my dad had, I was like, props to that guy, babe. Props, man. Like, yeah. Very go. Like,
Because I just
come
think
on.
it's so important to show your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because it just makes everyone else, that anxiety, and everyone else is so like, we've got so much self-confidence, we've got so much anxiety, we worry so much what other people think of us, and everyone doesn't realise that everyone's thinking of themselves. Everyone's pretty selfish. No one's really thinking of you, and you think everyone's thinking of you, but they're really thinking of everyone. Like they're really thinking of themselves. So like to come out and show vulnerability and show
It's
that
very
like, people
fantastic.
think that we're confident.
Yeah.
People think that we're all this thing, but no one knows what we feel
Feel
inside.
inside.
No one knows how scared I get, or if I shake on a little bit on the inside. Like, but you show that vulnerability.
It's the
and
coffee.
It makes
It's the coffee.
Others to come.
It's the coffee.
Yeah, it's the coffee.
With me, so I just don't think there's a big enough influence for people like me, for how big of a audience there is out there.
Yeah.
And I also know for a fact, like maybe 95% of people that talk like me, they are not nearly as outgoing as let's do this, and
no way.
no matter what people will say. So let me be that thing that pushes them to be. Maybe.
Like, normalize it. you know?
Normalize it. Come on.
Yeah.
That's why you're the best, Stutter
Yeah,
boy.
come on. What?
Keep on
Come on,
complimenting me, guys,
Normalize
please,
it.
please.
You gotta
please.
Bring it on.
So
That's
what?
awesome.
I've got a bit of a funny dodgy eye. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You go a poo, you bleed, you do the same. So what?
Right.
Nobody
I think
cares.
you're
Nobody
very
cares
great.
except you. So
Right.
Yes. If they don't,
let's go to our next.
Wand and put it where the sun don't shine.
That's right.
So the next question kind of goes back to relationships. Sorry, single people. But is it easier being single or being in a relationship?
I want to go first.
Tyler?
I think that Fairy Godmother can also agree with this. I feel like that when you're in like a relationship with the right person, it's way easier than like being by yourself, because they pick up where you need to be picked up, and then like you pick up where they need to be picked up, and it's more of like having the power of two people than just doing everything by yourself. Or even if you're in a relationship that's like maybe not the best one, then you probably still feel like you're doing stuff by yourself. So that would be my answer. I think once you're with the right person, that it's like way easier than being by yourself.
Tyler, So, what hobbies do you have?
I mean, outside of like CNFT, which is probably like my biggest hobby outside of like work, 9 to 5
Same.
every day. I don't know. I like to read. I like to play video games every now and then with some friends.
Which
Not
I,
TikTok. Yeah, I like
Podcast?
to watch. I don't make TikToks, but I like to
Podcast?
watch them. Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I try that like CNFT takes up most of my free time outside of work.
Good man. Which I feel like it's so important for people that are in a relationship to have these like hobbies and not just make their partner their hobby.
Yeah, like
It's
something
so
that's like
important.
yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like to know yourself before you get in that relationship, to go like, because if you get in a relationship and you're not really sure about like what you like what your passions are and like your own personal things, you kind of sort of like, I've seen other women do it before, you attach yourself to the person's like hobbies that they do, or you try and like sort of attach your personality to theirs, and it's like two individual souls coming together is so much better than just like someone trying
Yeah.
to like blend themselves into someone else's soul.
Yeah, exactly.
That is exactly what I did back in college. So hard with my college girlfriend. But that's most college relationships.
Yeah, it is.
You kind of just obsess over that person to a
So
fault.
what is college? So what is college?
It's
What
college
age
like-
It's
Oh,
university.
it's
It's uni. It's like
university.
uni or university. It's like from like 18 to 22.
So you have to pay for that, do you?
Yes.
So,
yes, a lot of
my-
money. A lot of money.
My parents, they ended up doing a ton for me there, but that's also why I dropped out, because I was wasting their money, wasting.
So
my
make sure
time.
you tidy up.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's too much. My goal is whenever money comes to Cardano, then this podcast should begin making money. So I'll begin like paying off my parents' house.
Yeah.
So
But
There
you
you
know
go.
what? You do things as parents for your children no matter what. And like
Yeah.
what you two young men are doing now, you're obviously going to be doing it for your future generations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Kind
what I
of,
think
kind
about
of.
that.
And
So-
and being someone that's gone through like university and like finished a degree, I think that like most university degrees are like a scam unless it's like something that's like something that's super technical, like something that's like art or like programming or something that's like very technical that you have to like hone a skill in. I feel like it's just kind of like I have a degree in business management. Like what do I, and I work in sales. Like what do I need a degree in business
Degree in
management?
arts is sort of the same. It's not really a degree with like like specifications. So it's like hard because you're a degree in art. So it's like very broad. But even when
Yeah.
I was in university, I used to say to Mum, a lot of it is filler. Like it's filler stuff. Like I'm paying
Yeah.
$3,000 for this unit, but it's a filler unit. It doesn't really go with my degree.
Yeah.
I could probably learn what I learned 6 weeks practically instead of 4 years going there. Like if I sat down with like someone in the arts industry for 6 weeks and done their job, I probably would have learned a lot more than 4 years going there and like writing up these references and essays and stuff like that and stressing myself out for so long.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've learned more being a part of the Web3 than you did back in uni?
Yeah, just a different set of skills, I guess. Like a different, like, and I don't know. I think you can consume information so much quicker nowadays. Like, you don't need to have like this long out thing. And I think people think that these certificates are such like just because you got this piece of paper that says something on it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you know something. Because a lot of people could have a lot more knowledge just sitting in their brain. You can't see what someone has inside. So I just think I've learned so much more from Web3. Like just
Same.
sitting here and like YouTube tutorials, like everything. It's all like even the new things that have come around, like these like ADX like courses and stuff. You can go and do courses for free. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
My thing is I've always been very much a people person. Like the reason I don't need books is because I know people that read books. Therefore I'll be fine. But
This is Mum. I read the books, I summarize, and then I tell
Perfect.
her what's
Perfect.
inside the books.
Yeah.
I got time for that.
But because of that, I know that doing these classes where I learn coding could be be important to me, but I feel like for me and my personality, it's even more important to just like make a beacon that we get other people that know these amazing things, and then they come on and talk about that. So more so that. So for me, college was a big waste, but
Big L.
but I
think
don't
a lot
think.
of people say that now.
And I think that's like why Web3 is so like appealing, because the whole like open source industry is just so appealing, because of like watching like the internet's own boy Aaron Schwartz like trying to make the journals like all open source, because I can't like, because when I was in uni I could read all the journals, but now if I want to find out information I have to pay $65 to read a journal article that's like scholarly written, that's probably backed by like corrupted money anyway.
Yeah.
But
That's another rabbit hole.
But like it is, that's why we're here with the Web3, because we want it to be open source. We want this information to be widespread and for everyone to use.
Yes.
And not just for classes.
Yeah.
And I was taught that my children should go to uni. That's the thing to do. They should go private schools. They should go to uni, and it didn't really work out. But I still love them 100%, and more happier with that than what the other outcome would have been.
Right.
My
yeah.
my parents, they did college. They both got degrees. They have never used. My sister, she did the same thing. So like when my parents saw how sad I was and how depressed I was, they told me to drop out.
Yeah.
Which was the best thing literally anybody could have told me, because while college was not for me then, maybe it could be now, but but it doesn't have to be, because I have found something so new, something so big but so new, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, and I feel like for people that are like in their like 20s, like all the way like from early to like late 20s, or at least for like me being in like my mid 20s, I feel like Web3 is kind of like our like .com boom, you know, like when the internet, like I remember being like, when I was a little kid, like the internet was still like, I mean, my mom had like a big clunky computer that probably weighed like 200 pounds, you know, and I remember like playing on like Tetris on it and stuff like that, but like, I mean, it's always been there in some form or fashion, like for basically my whole life that I can remember. But this is like, I feel like this is something that's new that like millennials and people.
Not like it is now. Not like TikTok. I have a 15-year-old and I have a 28-year-old and a 29-year-old, all by the same dad. I'm not a fairy slut. But the way he consumes information is so different to my 28. And
I have a bit my big.
We do deserve it, because we've done the dial-up, we can't have the phone calls because you're on the dial-up internet and you have that weird sound in the background. We've done Neopets, we've done LimeWire and the virus. I've been there. I got the T-shirt, so it's like we're kind of like, it's like the time to like get back and have this.
Yeah, it's your time to shine.
Yeah, for sure. And I get where you're coming from too, because my baby sister she's 14. She just turned 14, so she's like the same age, and she's always like doing TikTok dances around the house, and I'm like, where do you even see this kind of stuff?
Oh my god, I'm never having kids. Holy shit.
Yeah, and even
it's
Discord. My son's Discord is going off continuously. Let's play this. Let's play that. It's like, and just the way he has no attention span. It's that long. You gotta get him straight away.
Yeah, and that's where that's where I feel like reading helps me. I feel like I have a short attention span, but when I'm like when I sit down and I open a book, I feel like I can focus on that and not worry about other stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of went off on a tangent.
But we just don't stop talking, do we? We're like politicians.
But I think we kind of agreed that until you find that perfect somebody, it's much easier to be single.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's where we started with.
That's it.
Started, boy. You have to bring us back, don't you? Sorry.
Like I said, that's my job. So our next topic.
Yes.
Thank you. So who is y'all's biggest enemy?
It's not y'all. It's you's enemy.
Use. who's you's enemy biggest?
I don't dislike anyone.
So
A very
what do you
Swiss
say
answer of you.
Your biggest enemy
No, I
is
don't like one of
yourself.
my worst enemies, right? Someone told
The-
my son that he wouldn't be anything, and he was a teacher. And
Yeah.
now he's
Oh my God.
28. I remember this, and I want to go and poke his eyes out because he's done very well in his life. So he's my biggest enemy, Mr. Chipper, because he wasn't very chipper.
That's so
Hope
funny.
he doesn't watch this.
So I kind of had a teacher like that also. Maybe my sophomore year, for some reason, my parents gave me like little cans of Red Bull like every morning because the doctor said I should drink coffee because it's good for ADHD. Turns out Red Bull's not the same. But
It's definitely not.
This teacher was terrible because class would begin and we were supposed to sit down. So me being super ADHD, he had never told me like I needed to sit. But maybe I just like didn't pick up on the fact that everybody else was sitting down. But then he also didn't like that I called him sir, which for me was much easier than like saying his whole name because
Yeah.
it was like something dumb. So being from the South, you are taught that you should say this. So he didn't like that. So I told him it's just easier for me to say, and he's like, so I don't care. Don't call me that. But I'm going to keep calling you that because that's what I've been told, and it's much easier. So maybe give me the benefit of the doubt because I talk the way I do. No, he ended up calling my parents and brought my
What a jerk.
parents in, and my parents were like, dude, you are such an asshole.
Oh,
Shut up.
yeah,
Yeah.
see? So
Yeah.
people are mean.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much like words actually stick in people's heads. Like there's like I've been rated before, like rated as a 3 out of 10, and Mum's been like through it in their lives, and people don't realize that like such small
Mom's a
comments
10
actually
out of
Yeah.
10. Mom's
That's right.
a 10 out of 10.
That's right.
So are you, Fairy. 2 10 out of 10s. Woot woot. But that just didn't make sense, and it's not that I hate him. It's just that there's always going to be these dumbasses everywhere. So it's like
The glitter's so
now
fun.
now she's an 11 out of 10. But it's just one of those things where there's going to be these dumbasses, these assholes everywhere you go. So you need to kind of learn that yes, they are dumb. Now let me be better than them and move past them.
Yeah.
Like I'd say currently my biggest enemy is myself because
That's it.
Oh,
Yes.
what a deep answer, Stutter Boy.
because I keep
Yeah,
on
he's getting
telling
deep.
myself I'll go to bed at like maybe midnight or 2 a.m. Nope.
I told you.
Nope, it's 4 a.m.
I told you the best way to fix it is to stay up the whole day. So you wake
Which
up
I did.
at like noon
Yeah.
when you wake up, then you don't go to sleep, and then the next day you go to bed at like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and then it fixes it because you're so tired you
Nope.
have to sleep and you'll go to sleep.
Listen to Big T.
That's how you
Yes.
do jet lag too.
Yeah,
Listen.
that's how you
I
do jet lag.
did.
You just have to stay up. You have to fight it and stay up until the next day, and then you'll be fine.
Because
So
you
I
won't
did.
be the best at your job then because you've been too bloody tired.
Yeah,
That's right.
So
listen.
one time last week I did because I needed to get up at like 8 a.m. So I ended up being on a line like a fucking dumbass till like 5 a.m. this was when fairies leaked that we were having them actually. So I was gonna go to bed at like 3 a.m. Then I look at my phone. 10 minutes before that, fairies tweeted that out. So
He was just so excited.
So my adrenaline was like fucking going, fucking pumping.
You were hyped.
So I ended up going to bed at like 5:30. Got up at 8:30. Then I Ubered in a car that's got like very shoddy air conditioning. So it kept on turning on and off, in like very, very, very hot Texas weather. So that night I went to bed at 11 a.m. No, that night I went to bed at 11 p.m. Then I got up at like 9 a.m. feeling fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
See?
That same night I went to bed at like 5 a.m.
Well, that's stupid then.
Yeah, you got to turn it off.
But-
You got to turn off the screen.
Yeah. Turn it off.
Although I do sleep with the TV on, but other than that, no
That's
phone.
weird.
That's
That's
weird.
weird.
Well, see, like
Like-
I've always had, like, even when I was a kid, I always had a TV in my room. So to me, it's weird not having like. I don't like the quiet. Like if I'm like cooking or like doing a cleaning around the house, like I have to have music on or like a podcast or something because I don't want it to be quiet. Like or the TV. Yeah, I don't like the quiet. It makes you you think too much. Yeah, you think too much when it's quiet. That's why I don't know how people sleep when it's just like dead quiet. Like I'll sit there and think about how the world is ending, and I'm like, this is terrible. I want to turn the TV on.
Because of my ADHD, like I have to turn my brain completely off to go to bed. So if I have like CSI, like going on in the background,
CSI.
then I'm going to need to know who the killer is.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, I never used to sleep because of the ADHD. Like, I used to just stay up all night. Like, I used to just, like, make clothes and, like, tie-dye them and stuff like that. Mum would find me at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, wired, just, like,
Same.
because obviously when I was, like, younger, like, it wasn't so much technology, so it was more, like, random late-night shows and, like, whatever you could get your hands on to, like, make an activity to do. But, like, what honestly just helped me is like binaural beats helped me so much. Like they're just like a resonance of like a vibration of sound, and that just like really helps me because it's not pitch black or no music. It's got like that resonance and it helps the bioresonance of your body and THC.
Yeah.
Woo! We love drugs.
I couldn't live without it. Like I couldn't sleep. I would
Yeah.
be wired. I'd be up all night. I wouldn't be a functioning human being without it.
Which I get, but that would piss me off. the bzzz. Oh my god. Yeah. Big T. Who is your biggest enemy?
I don't think I have like a specific person that's my enemy. I just really dislike people that are like willfully ignorant and then speak on something that they know they don't know things about. That's the people I dislike the most.
So I'm guessing
because I
about...
think. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I think it's like. Sorry, I said go ahead, and then I really wanted to say what I was saying.
Say it.
Oh, I just think that we live in a world and like society today where I can Google the answer to anything I ever wanted to know and like read articles about anything I ever wanted to know. So like, I think it's odd and it's just. I think it's dumb to like get on Twitter and then like say your piece about something that is like objectively wrong. Like you could have feelings about something; it could be like a subjective thing. But like if it's objectively wrong, I just like when people do that because just Google it. Just Google the answers. It's not that bad. It's not that bad to just Google. And if you don't know something, I think it's fair just to say I don't know. Like I don't know.
Yes.
Like do I know the ins and outs of how blockchain technology works? Absolutely not. I like to buy NFTs. That's it. So am I going to act like I know? No, absolutely not.
These people use Bing.
Bing.
This is
as
where
their internet
get all
provider.
Their facts.
Their what?
Microsoft Edge.
Microsoft Edge or like what is it? Mozilla Firefox, the old one.
Hey, we don't talk shit on Firefox.
Firefox is elite.
this is our Firefox podcast, so.
Not sponsored.
But it could also be a Bing podcast if they tossed us.
If they want to toss us some money, we'll take it.
Fuck, will be any podcast. Maybe
right.
not any, but mostly any podcast. The next question is, this is for Fairy Godmother. So you kind of were born in a very different time period, and now you are working in a very, very young time, and in a very young industry also. So what about this newer generation? Do you maybe not dislike, but kind of like disagree with?
No, you're just all people are exactly the same, but in a different context.
Yes.
Like the way that I see it is, we're doing Web3. I just relate it back to IRL. If I've got to sell something, like Big T, you're a salesman. How would you do it in real life? You do it on the internet.
Yeah.
I just have to treat people on the internet like I would in real life.
And Mum's always said to me, it's really weird as you get older, your brain doesn't change. Like it's weird because your body changes and your mind, like your face changes, but your brain doesn't change. Like it changes, it evolves, adapts, and learns new things, obviously. But the person that you are, the personality that you are, doesn't change. So obviously, Mum's still this person that's always been like really innovative and really wants to know the next thing. Like she's always asking me what the next technology is. So her personality has always been really interested in the next thing. So I don't know if it's like a personality specific thing, because my dad's just like a cardboard box with it all.
Yeah, my parents are the same way. So let me change that a bit. So what is something that these new kids do that you just don't get? Like why they love
the TikToks
so much?
The artwork, and I don't get right. I honestly don't get the joints and the smoking for all of them, because we're trying to teach our kids to get off of vapes, or whatever, to get rid of the smoking. But all these like elephants, monkeys, apes, they all have smoking things hanging out of their mouth. I don't want my 15-year-old son smoking. I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's one thing I know it's the artwork, and I know it is what it is. But obviously, if you see something enough as a child, you're gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. The art is completely different. I just don't get. I don't get that. And obviously, drugs feel nice because obviously people wouldn't take them. But and the nudity as well. I think there's a time and a place for getting your bits and pieces out. I do. Sorry, I do.
Yeah. Like, this is a very funny podcast because at one point in it, we're like, yes, let's all do mushrooms. Then next part, it's like, I don't get why everything's doing weeds. So that's very funny to me.
But I think it's more like the nicotine, not so much the joints. It's the nicotine, the actual cigarette.
Yeah, and
like one with the like tabs on the bottom of it. Like the joints were not so obviously because we're like alternative medicine friendly and stuff like that. But I still have like a lot of like a lot of opinion on like consuming THC before your brain is like completely developed as well. Like so, I mean. There is a lot of different ways to look at it, but it's the nicotine thing that got me, because I was like, I've had like, there's so much struggle and like so much like I don't want my little brother smoking cigarettes. Like that would just like, that would make me so angry. So to like have him want to have one of those ones makes it weird for a psychological thing for me, because it's like, well, if you want an NFT of one of those things, is that not just going to be a psychological thing where you want one in real life too? Like, and I guess like what Mum said, the art change is so weird, because even for me as like 29 years old, like to see the change in like people liking animated Cartoon Network style images as like art now is so strange, but it's so cool because it's like another transition that we're witnessing. Because if you think about it, in the Renaissance era, like the next technology was oil painting. Like when oil painting came in, it was like, what the hell? Like that was the next technology. So it's the evolution of art, and I love being able to see that. That's just crazy cool.
But just don't smoke nicotine.
Yeah, and I will say though. Yeah, well, no. So I started vaping when I was like 17 or 18. I was probably 18, and I just quit this year, and I'm 24. and I quit at the beginning of this
Yes.
year. So like there's 6 years, and I started because I thought it was cool because my friends were doing it, and then it becomes like a habit that is just so hard to kick. And it's like, and I've talked to people that have like kicked a lot of other like way worse habits with way worse things, and they said that the nicotine one is always the hardest one to kick. And I haven't had it. Yeah, I haven't had a vape in like 6 months, and I'm doing great. But at the same time, like I still do want it every now and then. But I think that. I don't know. But I do see where you're coming from, because it's so hard to kick once you start, and it's rough.
Once you start, and it's not cool. It's not cool.
And
And
well, and
people who've never smoked before, they don't have a vape, and then they'll go and buy a pack of cigarettes, and I'm like, but you've never been a smoker.
Well, and it's marketed.
It's like
It's marketed to younger people too because it tastes like blueberry mango smoothies and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fair. We went to a music concert. We went to Kid Leroy. We took my
Oh, he's so
son.
good.
Oh, Dad,
It was amazing.
I was being called a
I was in
legend.
the mosh.
Oh, really? That's awesome. That's awesome. I went to
Like,
a.
those young kids, Big T, vaping.
You just see the clouds. You just see the little clouds
Oh,
coming up.
You know the smoke machine that you have at a party? Like it was
Yeah.
literally, I had to Google afterwards, is the smoke machine things in vape? Because it was so the same. It was like being at a smoke machine at a party because there was just so many people vaping coming towards us. And they were offering it to my little brother. They were like, and he's 15 and they were like, do you want to have a vape, man? And I was like, no!
Yeah.
With that and even with weed, I feel like there's like such a pop culture thing behind it now that it's kind of losing its purpose. Like nicotine's never that good, so that like shouldn't even be a thing. But with weed, like these marijuana T-shirts, all of these marijuana like type of logos and all of these things, I'm not sure if it's going in the way it should be or if it's kind of leaning more towards the way that
Well, that's when
vapes
when I started like the page
nicotine.
that I started, I like always done like educational scientific journals, and I try to teach people about, because we have that endocannabinoid system in our body, and like if it is deficient or proficient, really like does to a lot of what diseases you get. It is a really like thing that you have to make sure that it's like balanced. So it's not about overconsumption or underconsumption. It's about knowing that balance and knowing what's right. So it's like about that awareness and knowledge more so than like, oh, this is cool, I'm going to wear it on a t-shirt.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it
I
is
agree.
kind of changing, and I'm like, is this good? Is this bad? Is
Of course it's good, because you can have a bit of THC, and I've just had a friend who's passed away from a codeine addiction. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Literally.
So
We-
don't
Yeah.
even get me started on people being addicted, because I've seen a lady who's got 3 children. I didn't even know what it was. She started drinking cough syrup and she's died last week. So
And like she
I'm
used
sorry
to get
about
me to
that.
go and buy it for her, and I didn't even know that, like, because like obviously you have to put your driver's license over and stuff. Like it's legal, like it's like in Australia they have like a register for it, and like I was 18 and I didn't even know like what it was used for or anything. But she was getting me to go and buy the cough syrup for her, and like drinking it out of a wine glass, and like it was just like
Yeah.
Which that's never good, and I feel like with something like that, maybe weed is better.
yeah, you've just got
She
to
was just so normal. She was our next door neighbour, one of our
Yeah.
next door neighbours, and she had 3 children,
That's
and we
weird.
had no idea what it was, and it made us Google it because we were like, "What is the she's drinking?" Then we learned about lean, and we was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, lean's not good, but I feel like part of it could be is like maybe people might begin with weed, but then maybe possibly move on, which I mean
Nah, sorry,
could-
stop
No.
there. No
way.
No.
So
It's your
I'm just
personality,
bringing up
isn't
a
it? It's your
counter
personality.
view.
It's your personality, but yeah, it's your personality.
Yeah.
Something doesn't take, because I could get prescribed Valium from the doctor, which is
Yeah.
100 fentanyl, which is 1,000 times stronger. My another one of my dear friends was on oxycodone. I had to look after 2 of her boys. She didn't even know what it was. We're normal people, and I've had to Google it. So maybe people might need to do
And
their
like,
own research.
I worked in a pharmacy, like obviously
Yeah,
with the
do your own
adaptation
research.
of like I worked in a pharmacy with the adaptation of like medicinal cannabis in Australia, and the amount of people that came in and like was just so like crazily like medically effed up from all of the prescription they'd been taking. The amount of pills that they were consuming was incredible, like 70 a day. Like some of these 90-year-olds, I had to teach a 90-year-old how to pack a vape. Like it was like, but she was amazing. She loved her life afterwards. She was walking around, she was all sprightly. So like I saw the transition. So when I was advocating for it, I always kept that skeptical mind where I like was balanced, and then I went into an industry where I saw it work, where I saw it help, where I saw patients actually give up their medication and come onto something different.
Yes, that's not
It
just
wasn't
having a
necessarily
forget.
it was CBD, CBG, all these different like cannabinoids, but I saw it work. I saw people get up out of wheelchairs, like, you know, all them things. So like for me, that's where it was like the proof was in the pudding.
Yeah, not someone
Yeah.
smoking a joint
Yeah.
on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna do the next topic, which is how did you get introduced to your favorite band or musician?
So mine must have been, right, listening to the radio, because we didn't have the internet,
Yeah.
did we? So I used to, and then when I was growing up, I lived in inner London, so drum and bass come out. That was a genre of music, so I was into junglist music, lots of DJs like Chase and Status. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Obviously, because I'm from inner London, so the music that I listened to was junglist and drum and bass.
And then I just evolved because obviously I grew up listening to that sort of music with mum. Like she'd have the music blaring in the car, and like we'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like adapted from that, and like I just become a drum and bass DJ as well. And like obviously all of my music is more like of a higher energy, because
Yep.
of our high energy as well. But like I always say to mum, and I always say on dates, like I'll listen to anything. Like I'm not like genre specific. Like
Yeah, I'm
band?
the same.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's why I can't say a band or a person, because I'm just like always listening to so much different stuff. Like
Yeah.
but my first concert was
Good Charlotte, yeah.
Ah.
and mine was Johnny Cash. Get that?
Hey, that's very like very southern of you. Everyone in the South here in the States loves Johnny Cash.
No, it was my first wedding anniversary. My dad used to really love him, and it was a surprise. And I got there, I was like 21. I was like, he went, we're seeing Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Dad. Right,
That's
right,
badass.
okay. But it was actually really good.
Yeah.
That's badass. So the fairies kind of talked about how that they love like very hype music because they're very high energy. So I'm kind of the opposite, where because it is so hard for me to like calm down, slow down. I very much love like very sad music. like I kind of found this love for it back when my ex and I like broke up. So I ended up getting
Fall Out
like
Boy and Adele, the remix.
The remix.
kind of kind of though, but because of that, like now that I'm not sad, I kind of like that also because it reminds me that there's so many other people out there being super sad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so then at the same time I also got super into K-pop, which my ex at the time was the biggest BTS fan ever. But so during that breakup, I ended up getting more into K-pop. But then I kind of got more so into Asian American music. So currently,
What music? I didn't hear that.
Asian American.
Asian American.
Asian American?
Yes. So
What's that like? What?
Yeah, what's it like?
So
Yeah, what's it like? I don't...
So it's very sad. Like,
Oh,
I'm
Stunner
not
boy!
sure-
We need to
not
we need to
every-
change up your
No,
playlist.
you need to
Sad.
change it
No.
up.
The fairies need to change it up for
No, Oh my
Yeah.
god!
No,
So
you
so
can't
it-
sleep. You're having nightmares.
Let's
No.
co-write a playlist. I think.
Yeah,
no,
let's
it's
do a
very
group playlist.
sad. Oh my god!
Yeah.
But
we'll
it's
get
also
every
a.
genre in there. We'll have the high energy. We'll have the crying one from Stutter Boy.
It'll just be like this the whole time.
Guys, I'm not sad though. I'm
just
not
enjoy
sad.
it.
It's just a very, very easy music to vibe out to, and then to talk to people while I'm Ubering. Like I feel if I had EDM or this like DJ and music, I'd just be shouting and like trying to talk back and forth. So maybe not that, but
Not in
maybe
an Uber. No.
Not in an
so,
Uber, yeah.
Keshi.
Get in. Get in. Get
There
in.
used to be that
Did
show
it.
on like MTV where it was like a taxi and it had all the lights and it was like a taxi.
Yeah,
and
Magic
they could
Taxi.
go,
Was it
like-
Magic Taxi? I think it's Magic Taxi. Yeah, that was awesome.
So,
That was awesome.
I'm thinking of another taxi.
Anyways, I will say that I was gonna say that like I agree. I don't really have a genre of music that I like listen to all the time. So when I was a kid or before I was born, me and my older brother, before we were born, my dad, he played in like a rock band in the 80s with like his brother, his cousins, like their friends, like they did stuff around the town, like little gigs and stuff. So he's very much into like 70s and 80s rock, which I used to listen to all the time. So my parents are divorced, so I used to listen to that when I was like at my dad's. And then my mom, she has like a ton of friends that are like from the Bahamas and Jamaica, so they listen to a lot of like reggae music. So that's what my mom used to listen to. So I would, and then as I got older, like a lot of my family, because we live in the South, they listen to country music. I prefer to listen to like hip hop music. So I kind of listened to everything growing up because it was just a lot of back and forth around, and everyone listens to their own thing. So yeah, I don't really have like a favorite band or anything.
But now that you are an adult, when you turn on music, what do you turn on?
Probably like hip hop or like alternative rock. Like I really like Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that.
Nice.
Stuff like that. And Fairy Godmother was talking about taking your kids to a concert. When I was at an MGK concert like 2 months ago, and like we were down in the pit, and then there's like this dad with this kid that's like 7, like on his shoulders the whole time. I mean, for hours. Like this kid is up here, like got a bandana on with like the pink streaks in her hair. Like she was just rocking out the whole time. It was so awesome. She was killing it.
Because it gives you that feeling, doesn't it, music? It gives you a nice, it makes you feel alive.
Yeah, it's where a lot of people from like different
Not
backgrounds
mine.
and different. A lot of people with different stories can kind of relate in like one space. Yeah, you can come together and like relate to one space. Yeah, I agree. Okay. You want me to do the last one? Is this the last topic? You want me to do it?
You can.
Okay. All right. The last topic is what about Australia do you love the most, and what do you like the least?
The weather, we love the weather. I'll talk, but I hate being so far away from everyone.
Yeah. Well, right now it's your like winter time, right? Now, like it's your. Right, because
we get down to, like the lowest it gets to really of like the nighttime is like 11 degrees Celsius, so like double it in our 30s, like 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit is the lowest it gets like ever. So like, and like now it's like 22 degrees Celsius, so like 80, 90, like it is like nice
Summer,
out, it's sun, like, but so we get like a winter, but we don't really get a winter. It's like 300 days of sunshine where we live, so. But we're really far away, and we have all our family in the UK, so we really felt that distance with COVID as well, because we wasn't allowed out. We was locked in here. It was literally locked in Australia.
The Australian restrictions were like a lot more intense. Obviously in the US, because we can't get along with anything, obviously the restrictions don't work because we can't agree on anything. So I mean that makes sense. But yeah, I heard that the Australian ones were.
There's no people here. We have such a small population.
We worked out the world's population to ours, like we have 0.4% people.
Which is crazy for such a large, like massive, massive land. But is it because it's just like, why is that? Is it because it's like just desert and it's hot and like nobody wants to do that?
I don't think they actually don't let a lot of people in here.
Oh, it's like immigration hard.
Yeah.
And the middle is very arid, like, so the middle is like desert, like it is very, very arid. So we all live like 90% of the population is on the coast.
Yeah, outback. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so different. Like we understand, yeah, you lot because we've just moved from the west to the east, and
Yeah.
that's a 5-hour plane ride. So we do kind of get America.
And we're like 3 hours time difference from the other side of Australia as well, so we have time differences as well, like with the
Yeah.
That's what we have. We have a 3 hours time difference from like coast to coast. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's my turn to say what I like least and most about Australia.
As someone who's never been.
Yeah, go on.
My favorite part is that the women over there, they are beautiful. my least favorite part is that I'm like 15 hours away from a fairy godmother, which sucks. But then
You never know. One day I might come knocking at your door. You're going to pick me up in an Uber. Can you imagine?
From the airport.
That
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
well, if you are ever in Dallas, like shoot me a text because I'll.
Oh, we
be
would
there.
do. And we'd say, don't play that sad music in your car.
Yeah, we want some beats.
We want some bangers. Boom, 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 boom.
Stutter, how did you not say that your least favorite thing would be the spiders? The spiders down there are like the size of your hand.
Oh, but that's all that junk. That's what people say.
Don't you have
see
spiders that eat like rats or what's it called? Like
I've never seen one.
Oh,
I guess it's
y'all
sort of
do.
like America, like you wouldn't get them in the city, like you would, like if you went outback, like Uluru, I see some random stuff, like some random, like scary stuff, and like I drove up to like the coast of Western Australia, like was a bit outback, see some random stuff, but you gotta go out, like you wouldn't in the city. You don't.
Yeah.
like in the neighborhood, you don't see big spiders crawling around and stuff.
Well, sometimes you do see big ones.
Yeah, see?
It's not like an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's a spider delivering the newspaper every day.
Because Australia has
we
the
did
most.
first-
It has the most like animals that can kill you in the world, right? Insects and animals
There
and
is
bugs.
One thing that petrifies me, we get like 6-foot high kangaroos, and they
Yeah,
stand
those
on
are
their
scary.
tail. If they attack a human, they stand on their tail and they get their forefeet with the claws, and they get your stomach, and they
Yeah.
pour it out. When I was first going to school here, I was going to catch the bus when I was in high school, and I had my big like backpack on, and like I'd only just moved here, and like I saw a kangaroo in the distance, and it was like so tall, and I was like, what do I do? So I like threw my school bag and I like ran.
You just
and I called
ran.
my mum, and I was like, I'm going to school.
She went up behind a tree, Mum.
And
What
that's-
do I do?
And that's so funny because I literally saw a video on Twitter the other day of these two kangaroos in Australia fighting, and they literally fell through someone's backyard fence. Like they had this big wooden fence, and one hit the other one, and he fell backwards and broke through the fence. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like just in some neighborhood,
then
I was like, what is going on?
One of Mum's friends' husbands actually got on the golf course like properly attacked by one, like his whole stomach like gnawed out, and I was like, that time I was meant to not go to school because I would have got attacked by a kangaroo.
So are kangaroos like the most dangerous land mammal over there? Or
Yeah, I would say,
marsupial?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
It's
Big
not the
brain.
koalas.
Big brain.
They run for your headlights as well when
But the
you're
koalas
driving.
sound a lot different than what you think, because I had a koala in my back garden last year, because we live in a place that's got kind of a lot of koalas in the trees and stuff, and
That's
there was
so
one
cool.
randomly in my back garden, and it's like,
It sounds like a proper bear. Like, we had to Google it. We was like, what's that?
and like, I went
so
to touch
cute.
it, and the person was like, don't touch it, they have chlamydia. I was like, what do you mean koalas have chlamydia?
They will
I'm not having
fuck
sex
you
with
up.
it.
That's so crazy. That's too many animals for me. I want to live in the city where there's no bugs, no creatures. I don't want to
Yeah.
see. I don't want to see anything with four legs
Yeah.
at all.
Dogs? Dogs?
Dogs are okay. Dogs are the only thing. But
dogs are
even then, I'm just like I don't like to be very close to animals that I don't think that I could win in a fight. You know what I mean? Like if it's me or the dog, and the dog weighs 150 pounds and it's huge, I think he's gonna beat me. Yeah. Yeah, like my sister. My sister has a Rottweiler, and she's like her dog's like 5, and she weighs like 120 pounds, all muscle. Like if she bumps into you, she like knocks you off your feet. I'm not like she terrifies me because if she got mad and wanted to hurt me, she could hurt me, and I couldn't do anything because she's a big dog. That's my thought.
So I could beat up every bird. To be fair, so.
If y'all haven't seen that, if y'all haven't seen this, just go to the episode with Max from 2 weeks ago and just skip through until you find the part where we're arguing about who could beat up what animal. And Stutter is talking about he could fight off any bird, like eagles, falcons, anything. He could just beat them all up.
Vultures,
Yeah,
just
vultures,
get their wings go.
Not to fall back into that topic, I'm just surprised that you think that you can catch a bird out of air. Like a bird that's that big, you're going to just grab it when it's flying at you.
Bro, it's a fist fight. Like.
But it can fly. Anyways, we're not rehashing this. We talked about it for like 40 minutes last time.
That kind of leads us to the end of it, fairies. We appreciate having you guys on. Do you guys want to plug anything?
Well, of course, our fairy friends are still minting at the Mystical Tree. So at fairies.cc on the website, you can mint the fairy friends. We're 60% sold. So yeah, they will. We do have like a lot of plans for the fairy friends moving forward, but they're kind of going to act as a key to a gate, which is being developed at the moment. So there'll be some fun games behind these gates in the future.
And I just want to say, come to the tree, pluck a fairy. It's not very scary. It's really cool. And you'll always have me around.
Nice.
Perfect.
And we've had so much fun. It's been magical.
Oh,
guys.
thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
You guys are legends.
Yeah, of
honestly.
course.
No worries at all. We love.
When you
We
see
love
Stutter at CNFT
having
Con, you need to
you.
FaceTime me. Everybody needs to call me so I can talk.
Oh, you should done it for sure. When we see you, Stutter, can you imagine what it's going to be like? Don't.
It'll be so fun.
Can. So
Yeah.
I'll try to contain myself.
I might have to make a wedding fairy
Yeah,
for you and
we'll
send
make
it as
you
a
a
wedding
wedding
gift.
gift.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But we send it to, what's her name again?
Tawny.
Tawny.
Yeah, there
We
you go.
send
You
it
got
to
it.
Tawny.
You got it.
Yeah, because girls are better than boys.
And you
I'll,
can
I'll
make
set her up.
wallet and-
I'll set her up. I'll set her up a proper wallet, and then I'll send you.
Yeah,
The,
set up a proper wallet. Yeah.
okay,
Fairy.
I got you. I got you. I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Well, we are at about 2 hours and 11 minutes, and to go eat dinner.
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. over here. It's
Gotta-
dinner time.
And we're about to go to a meeting dressed like this.
Perfect.
And
Okay, guys.
Tyler's gotta go to bed. So we appreciate everybody. Reminder: we are giving away this beautiful fairy. And so make sure to go say the magic word, which is
Magic.
Magic.
Don't be tragic.
So we will see you guys on the next episode of the Degen Report.
Bye bye.